Head Junction, a bit of a new map that I haven't quite got a lot of my hands on, so didn't quite get a vanilla map for my first cast, but what can you do, Disco?
It's not too much of a bad map, and it's actually quite enjoyable to talk about. Because the lanes are so big, there's a lot of one-on-one engagements or big, hefty rotations. So it's really nice in that regards. Straight away, really interesting pickup here is on the Varian. Picking up lines more. It's considered to be one of the weaker talents, but it will help with Varian's lane clearing. So if he is by himself, potentially that's actually an interesting sort of pickup there. Not picking up the King's Quest, which gives you a lot of, well, gives you a lot of everything, damage potential. MK just giving a little bit of a tap on the cheek to Pene there, sliding in. I don't think we're going to see much done here. Two tanks and the healer in the mid lane for Penta's Pastors. It's going to be a bit of a boring lane at the moment.
And you wonder if possibly Varian needed that. They've already got quite decent lane clear as it is on their team. Bit of damage coming out there from the ETC. In fact, it's going to be Malfurion tying from behind the gate as well. So I believe that was the Tracer getting off the damage, diving in the back there. So that's a perfect start already.
That is really nice. So an interesting thing we should bring up about Tracer, just for yourself as well, Xenox, is that in Heroes of the Storm, heroes get a powerful move at level 10 that they can execute on their opponents. However, Tracer actually gets it from the word go. She can use it straight away, but she does have to charge it, similar to how you charge it in Overwatch, which is what we've seen at the level 1 talent for her, taking pulse strikes, increasing how much charge she gets when she uses her melee attack against enemy heroes.
It's an interesting mechanic, the way that obviously Heroes of the Storm are able to change things up a bit. Soundwave is taking quite a bit of damage, will be able to get through the gate in time. And he's going to be backing off nice and early, but the warheads are coming up. So will he be able to get back in time to contest these nuclear warheads?
He should be fine. I mean, Falstad can obviously fly in. It's in the bottom lane there. Brightwing up against the...
oh, caught out. And Tracer just walking into the brush. He never checked the brush like that, as Penta's team was waiting and didn't quite actually go for the kill. They just wanted to back off, try and get the nuclear in their favor, but not even able to get that right now. Bit of dancing around the subject as they actually split 3 to the bottom, just keeping 2 in the middle, and this could come back to haunt them as the Malfurion does get taken down just about. He's going to get a heal, but Tracer's too much damage for him, so possibly sending 3 to the bottom there was an interesting call, and just leaving the 2, they're going to get overwhelmed and possibly lose that nuclear warhead.
Yeah, that was really strange mistake there. I mean, Malfurion just sectioned off by himself. They knew that ETC was in, level 4 was hit, and ETC has taken the loudspeakers to be able to increase his face melt and sort of knockback potential. So that was a bit silly there what they did with the with Malfurion, leaving him just Malfurion and murder.
And Penta just gets caught out as well. Again. So another kill. Gone the way of Milk Honey. They seem to be working because of the fact that they've got such good movement on their team, getting around the map, and saying that Soundwave able to just keep flying between the lanes. It's not really being too effective. The Pulse Bomb comes out. Can it land? It does!
Oh god, another kill!
Or Benjamin 94 as you would. Getting that kill on top lane and going to be able to soak up that EXP and push the lane.
I mean, so we're going to talk about one of the synergies here between Tassadar and Tracer. She didn't even need it just then, but a level 4, Tassadar's picked up Leeching Plasma, so it's going to be able to allow... Basically, he can throw his shield onto Tracer, and every time she attacks, she gets a bit of health back. She's a fast attacker, so it's going to be quite a lot of health she can receive, but she didn't need it. She just dominated Falstad in the top lane. And this is what's really scary for Penta's Pastor. Because they've got Varian is very much a late game hero. He really doesn't get a big power spike until you hit level 10 and you go into his Twin Blades of Fury or Colossal Stamp, whatever you're taking. The trouble is that Milk Money is also a late game composition, but their late game is going to be much better than Penta's because of all their global abilities. That's really dangerous and must be really scary for Penta's Pastors right now. What do they do at level 10 when all those globals are in effect?
Bullcrow just getting a little bit overextended in the bottom lane, gets caught out, taken down as Milk Money came from behind. Will they be able to take down Penta? I don't believe so. He's going to back out from the gate nice and safe and get away. But again, overextending a little bit too much there. But the invulnerable comes out onto Fish. He's going to be able to back out in the end, maybe just staying around too long.
Oh, can Pene actually follow up here? Chasing down Fish. The shields come out. Tassadar is such a hard cookie to crack, but Pene's going to give it a try, and he does. Sorry, I love seeing Tassadar's die.
1 for 1 though, so in the end it is 1 for 1.
It's unfortunately for Pene. Like, he's cool, he's got the kill, but unfortunately he did throw his life away. It may not be too bad because the experience is a little bit better in their situation because he's killed a higher level hero. You know, the enemy team is 8, they're 7, so maybe it's a little bit better, but you're still giving experience away, which is never a good thing.
4 warheads coming up onto the map now, as it is going to be a couple of camps being taken by Milk Honey, really controlling the map, getting as much experience as they can, as well as the creep minions in their favor coming along down the bot lane. And wondering whether or not Avatar and Bullcrow can both secure a warhead in their back pocket. Looks like they will. Although 3 are coming towards them, they've got to be able to get out safely with those warheads.
Also, did manage to pick them up. That was really nice. The slow rotation there. Such a big map warhead junction that you've really got to be on the ball when those things come up. I think their timings are a bit funny as well, so there's no... It's very hard to predict exactly when they'll appear. I think in the mid lane here, I mean, that ETC Muradin thing, Muradin I think has the benefit, but it's just going to be a stalemate. Here we go, the big rotations. Wolfball just need to get out of there. Just be happy with the fact you've got 3 nukes.
Yeah, not respecting the Tracer's damage. Gets Pulse Bomb, takes too much, and then the follow-up damage will be able to secure him as well. So that just seemed like a bit of a case of possibly not enough awareness, realistically, as we're going to see the Warhead already come out from Milk Honey into the mid lane. Barracks taking down most of it, only leaving the 4 alive. But yeah, Wolfboy just didn't really seem to be paying too much attention in that situation.
Yeah, really bad awareness, especially, you know, your team has just captured 2 nukes on the bottom of the map. What do you think the enemy is going to do? They're going to come to the position where they know there's only 1 person, and you're just hanging around the point. Give the enemy the bomb. You know what? You can actually get the nukes off the corpses of your dead enemies. Let ETC have it, and just don't give him the opportunity or the room to actually deploy the nuke, or make him go forward and drop the nuke in a really dangerous situation.
Yeah, and Milk Honey also level 10 now, so they've got their ultimate advantages. They're going to be wanting to push the next upcoming fights, although it does look like Penta's team will hit 10 now. There's still a 1 level advantage as we're going to see one of the new killers come up on top for Penta's team. And Benjamin94 just taking a bit of damage. Will be able to obviously blink away since she's Tracer. Soundwave, though, in a bit of trouble here. If he can't quite get away, Caitlyn just comes in with the hunt, takes him down. And that's going to be Milk Honey having the advantage, if they so wish, to really take that whole top lane now.
Do you see what I talked about with the level 10 and the global potential? So Illidan's global, it's not a real global, but you want to be able to get to those objectives. And if there's someone on it, that's the benefit of taking the hunt with Illidan on this map.
It's a pretty long global. It's not quite the whole map, I don't believe. Not at level 10 anyway, but it's still big enough to make use. A couple of turnaround kills there as ETC just staying a little bit too long, getting taken down, is going to give Penta's team a chance to get back into this one and possibly clear that top lane wave that is coming on through. And other than that, the bottom lane, though, is pushing extremely far in at the moment, Disco.
Yeah, no, that was a really good play there, picked up by Penta. Penta's Fasters being able to do that. They're going to force a rotation down now from Milk Money. Not the entire team, but the most. Now, they can push top lane, getting a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, and obviously the rotation down to the bottom for Milk Honey allows that top lane push. So just really good map control. Even though they're a little bit behind, they're still playing the objectives and playing the lanes correctly. Just got to make sure that they don't get into fights that they don't want to get into when they're still trying to play from behind.
And they've got to be wary as well with so many globals on the enemy's team that they can't really engage. Like, they can't be safe, especially around these. How will they play this? I think right now, if you're a Penta, you'd have to give the enemy a nuke.
Well, not necessarily. They could force the fight here just before level 13 happens and Milk Money get the extra talent. So they have a chance here where they're only 1 level behind, but same talents. They could try and get a pick if they can actually land it. They are going to send Soundwave and Bullcrow to get the bottom warhead. They might just say 1 for 1. We can deal with that, considering we are behind a level. They will try and get a stun onto Caitlyn, though. They got enough damage to back up. It will be the follow-up blink heal coming in, though, from Colostar. Now the turnaround kill onto Falstad. It's going to be Tracer. Penta picks that kill up, but kills falling down left, right, and center. The Earthquake did come out, indeed. Caitlyn still dashing around, extremely low health. Penta with the Lion's Fang, trying to get the kill. And he's looking like he's still just dashing away. And while he's dashing away, Milk Honey just cleaning up the rest of Penta's team.
Oh man, that re-engage from Illidan from Kaylin there was just so massive and like contributed so much to that fight. I thought it looked really good for Penta's Pastors actually. Earthquake was picked up by Thrall and he dropped it so the enemy team couldn't retreat. There was nowhere for Milk Money to go because of the Earthquake and its zoning. But the way Illidan came back around, re-engaged, dropped the invasion, so any damage falling onto her didn't mean nothing, basically. And then the shields from Tassadar just kept Illidan in the fight. There's a bit of a split, split damage coming out from Pentas there. A little bit on Illidan, a little bit on sort of Tracer. Everyone was low, but they didn't really secure any good kills.
And it was almost, I guess, like Penta's team sort of saw the low health of Illidan, and it was like almost this global taunt on top of the Illidan, and they were all just trying to focus him, but because of his evasion, they couldn't actually get any damage. And so that means all their damage is being mitigated, and they're taking so much in return because Milk Money still had so many heals still alive getting the damages. We are going to see Thrall now go down. He did get the Earthquake off, though, just before that. The Emerald Wind does come out from the Brightwing. And Avatar's extremely low, actually getting body blocked by Soundwave there. He wasn't able to get out, and we are going to see the re-engage from the ETC, but not sure if he really needed to do that. A little bit of a waste, considering the fight was pretty much over.
Yeah, he just burned his heroic. I mean, I think that's the, it's was it bad? Yeah, it's probably a bad play, but the worst thing is that he's burnt the heroic.
And taking the stage dive as well. I know it's been a while since I've played, but usually the ETCs would take down the stun. I'm not sure if this is the mosh pit. Whether or not this has changed the meta a little bit.
Well, you see a lot more stage dive coming up now because of the global effect of it, and particularly on this map because it's huge. That's global. He can use that anywhere on the map to get to where he needs to be, and that just makes him a mini global character. And you go like, well, you have to kind of guess where the enemy is. You have to think about your engagements. Little objectives appear all over this map that make the stage dive such a more beneficial pickup. And he's already got his power slide for his stun, so the mosh pit's not necessarily needed, and you'll actually get more value out of the stage dive in this game.
So 15 to 14 in the levels at the moment, and all the kills at the moment is the way Milk Honey 14 to 4. And so actually going to see now quite a few ultimates coming out. Fat 94 did get Earthquaked and had to blink away, and that's going to be very beneficial for him. Being able to blink out of that Earthquake rather than having to walk so slowly out of it does help for him. So a little bit of an engage there, not much coming out of it. One warhead for Milk Money, 2 though for Penta's team. They have got 2 warheads in their back pocket. Gets the stun onto the Tracer again. Will be able to blink out. And now we're going to see one of the nuclear warheads actually coming down from Milk Money. It is going to miss entirely, though. And this could actually turn the fight around now for Penta's team. That's 1 nuke head wasted, and they're actually picking up kills as well. The ETC's gone down. Now Color Star falls. The Brightwing is down. And now they're going to be able to use their nuke head to take down this fort. And it also pushes away the rest of Milk Money from this fight.
Well, I don't know what that nuke was all about. I guess they tried to use it either for extra damage or a bit of zoning, but Penta's team, they just rotated out of it. It was nothing. Like, now we see a big momentum push in the favor of Penta's where, Milk Money, they lost the nuke, they lost some heroes, and they just lost a fort. Like, they've still got the keep, that's good. The team deciding to sort of rotate up to the top lane, try and, clear that out. But they lost so much from that fight, and Penta just gained so much.
And the camp control from Penta's team has been on point. This is actually what's kind of kept them in the game, because especially that bottom lane has been pushing so hard due to their camp presence that it's actually splitting up Milk Money at times to go and deal with that bottom lane, giving Penta a chance to then soak other lanes, get back into the fights, have an advantage. You wonder at what point maybe they might go for that boss at some stage if they win that next fight. Of course, there's 2 bosses on the field disco though, so the bottom one is going to be the one that's sort of contested at this point of the game, I would assume. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're sort of poising for. Oh, MKL getting destroyed. Picked up. I mean, like I said, so Penta's Pastors were a late game composition and they're really coming into their field right now. And I think they're starting to actually overtake Milk Money just in their kill potential. One thing we didn't highlight on was Varian taking Colossal Smash. Now, we actually talked about it in the bit of the downtime for this game. One of the greatest advantages of Colossal Smash is that it makes the target vulnerable. That's 25% extra damage that your team does to that target. That's a huge, huge bonus.
Yeah, and especially when they've only got the one tank as well for Milk Money. So if you put that vulnerable status onto the only tank that they have, he is going to go down a lot quicker. And then without their tank, they can't necessarily engage. And they can also not really get into a sort of poke fight. They're winning the fights when they're all grouped up at the moment as well, Penta's team. But they're also able to avoid those sort of fights by having that advantage going into them. Look at them grouped up now. They're going to be able to try and get some focus targets. They really want to get that Tracer down nice and early. Malfurion's going to have to heal himself up, taking a lot of damage. But if you have a look at MKL, he's already so low. He's going to have to pop that stage dive and then on the hunt from Caitlyn to secure the kill onto the Malfurion. Fat94 is extremely low on top of that Tracer. He will go down thanks to Bullcrow. And is looking like Penta's team late game composition is starting to take control. They might be down in the overall scheme of kills and deaths, but they look well and truly in control of this game now.
No, they're really taking these fights. The mobility bonus of Milk Money just is not coming to them. Look, they could have had people in the top lane. They could have poked these nuclear warheads and held off, cleaned the lane, globaled in, but they're kind of just going to the fights, and then they're just fighting in the fight. You know what? You've got all these cool globals. Have people soaking lanes. Get the level advantage. Get your own pressure in these lanes going on. They're just, again, I feel like they're failing to capitalize on what makes their composition so unique versus Penta's.
And this is obviously one of the enjoyable things about Heroes of the Storm is that even if you have a bit of a slow start to the game, that doesn't really necessarily mean the game's over. The late game can always turn around so easily if you keep playing the objectives well. It's not just going to happen randomly. You have to keep taking those camps, make sure you're soaking lanes, and also take the fights when you need to take them. Don't just try and force the fights just because you can. And it looks like they're actually going to go for the top boss. And this is pretty smart considering the bottom fort is already down. You might as well get that top boss and try and go for the top fort as well. Put the real pressure onto Milk Money.
I like this. Milk Money, right? They have globals. They could engage onto that. They've decided not to. They're actually going to pick up their own boss in the bottom lane, putting a little bit of split pressure. It sort of neutralizes the play. They are a level behind. Their lanes are much more pushed in. I think it's a really nice sort of counterplay here. If they don't, if Penta doesn't go and deal with that, they can sort of contest, hold up the top, and that boss can get so much value in the top lane, but maybe even more than what Penta's past his boss could get done in the top.
If I was Penta though, I would be contesting this top lane right now. They've actually got still that bottom lane tower still up in the lane, so that big giant for Milk Money is going to take a long time. And as you can see, this top fort is already going down. And realistically, Milk Money cannot actually engage too much into this because they're just taking so much damage due to the presence. And the Tracer of Fat94 is so low, he has to go back to spawn now. This could actually be game over already due to the fact that they stayed with the boss. They don't have to go and deal with that boss down the bottom. He's still only on the lane tower. This one is over, Disco, and just really good play overall from Penta, looking like a team when it matters, and great objective control will secure them this win.
GG's go out, a well played. Penta's dank pastors, or whatever their extended name is, just really coming out, the late play competition being so powerful.